Okay.
And you guys thought I was kidding when I took my listening. You guys thought you do. This advances the slides and then Revelation.
Okay, all right. Well, it's good to be back. Those of you who know me, I'm back to do another session for my husband. So I'm Barbara Schuster. I'm his wife. I'm an internist. 2 years ago, I stepped down as the founding campus dean of a 4-year medical campus in Athens, Georgia. Since then, I am recovering from that. I am much better recovered than I was then. And I'm doing a little bit of teaching postgraduate medical education when I'm in Athens. And when I'm here, I give a few seminars, right, for my husband. I give a few seminars up in Svat at the medical school, which is the Bar-Ilan Faculty of Medicine. And presently, they've co-opted me into trying to write a book with the faculty up there on how to teach actively in medical schools. So we'll see. So I keep myself out of trouble, and of course, I do, now that I'm back in Israel, you know, I do a lot more cooking. Because that's what happens here in Israel. There's a lot more chopping that goes on than when I'm used to cooking at home. Today, I'm going to lead a discussion, probably talk too much myself, on building a healthcare workforce. Now, what's really nice about this group is many of you have ties. Okay? I've got a couple of physicians sitting in the room. I think our nurse midwife is not with us. Is she? Oh, we do. We have our nurse midwife. All right. I was banking on that.
Midwife.
Oh, midwife. Right. Okay. We're going to talk about that. Okay, because that's an interesting process that's going on in the United States. You really have to be an RN and then be a midwife. And so what I'm going to do is go through a few things, but I'll probably stop along the way and do a lot of discussion. As an academic, you know, you have to tell you what I hope that you learn, and, you know, at the end, hopefully you can discuss the common workforce problems that actually the world is facing. Understand the similarities and differences between physicians, nurses, physician assistants, nurse practitioners, and patient care roles. It's very interesting. I learned some new things every time I do this. I kind of change things as I was explaining. The original presentation I gave a number of years ago has nothing to do with what I'm about to do today. And of course, all of you are changing. So the people in the class are changing, and that makes a difference to me. I'm going to actually go through at least what the Bologna process is. Those of you from Europe might know that process. Those of you not from Europe may or may not know that, but it's had a great effect on education in the EU. And the question is, what will the effect be as it relates to healthcare? And they consider options for global healthcare workforce. So I'm going to want you to think about, what are the common problems? So think about across the world, what are the common problems in healthcare? So we're not going from the public health point of view now, but we're going from the population view to the individual view, right? Because that's one of the differences. Population medicine has come much more into the community health realm, which is very, very important. Flexner said that's all part of medicine. The U.S. folks have taken it out and separated it, not so good. But in most countries of the world, it's together. Public health is part of medical education, as it should be. But we're going to, think about individuals today more than the whole population, which is what you spend most of your time thinking about. So what are the common problems throughout the world with that?
A lot of burden, a lot of disease burden, not enough resources.
A lot of disease burden, so I heard a couple of things. A lot of disease burden and lack of resources, okay?
Yeah. Population which is aging, which means people are living a lot longer,
right.
And emerging technologies which are costing a lot more.
Right, especially in third world countries, first world countries, right?
Low income countries.
Low income countries, right. Okay, how about common challenges? So what are the challenges? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Health literacy.
Yes, in every country, right? Yeah. Other challenges, and we will come back to this.
Well, the fact that for some professions like physicians takes a very long time to educate, and people want to, get paid back, get reimbursed for their time, effort, etc. So expecting high salaries.
Yes.
Now, like with globalization, like people can migrate out, like doctors can go where they, like you said, will get paid more, educated better, be with their families, things like that. So they don't want to work in like isolated areas of warriors a lot of times.
And it's true all over, right? Right? This mobility is a difficult thing. I mean, I've read articles about Japan and Germany that talk about how difficult it is to find physicians in rural areas of Japan and Germany, let alone here, right? Where do we have physicians?
Tel Aviv?
We have them in Tel Aviv and up in the north. They can't find physicians, right? I was reading yesterday that it was probably back in 2010, so the numbers are not that recent, that in Tel Aviv it was 4.7 physicians per 1,000, and up in the north it's 2.2. Huge. Does that happen in the United States? I can guarantee you. In the state of Georgia, where we're from, there are 159 counties. So Georgia is divided up into all these small areas. There are 38 or 39 counties without one physician. And this is in the United States, okay? So let alone OBGYN care, okay, which is even worse, okay? And no rural hospitals that are closing their maternity wards, and making women actually go further. What are going to be the common solutions to all this?
What I've seen is political will.
Political will is important.
All encompassing.
So keep abreast of some of what we just went through as we go through this. So common problems, population growth, aging, demand for quality care, even if you don't live in a country, okay, you want quality care when you finally get sick. You want somebody good to take care of you no matter what it is. Evolving diseases, rise of HIV, huge economic impact. Huge, and no longer confined, right? Because of technology and airplanes and things like that, we had SARS, we have HIV, we have Ebola. Okay, huge problem. Becomes a population problem, but it also becomes a healthcare problem for the individual. Burden of chronic diseases, we live longer, we have more. I always say to people, as a physician, you're going to live longer, but we're going to live longer with chronic disease. Okay, the body doesn't just say, oh, you can live like, a 40-year-old forever. I feel that in the mornings. I always say, I'm aging. It's okay, but it doesn't feel good. Loss of healthcare workers. Syria. How many healthcare workers has Syria lost in this last war? Okay, African countries. How much have you lost, okay, between one tribal war with another, right? Natural disasters, epidemics. We lost many physicians and nurses in the Ebola epidemic.
It's interesting that even for a country like the UK, it's about to face a loss of workers because of Brexit.
Right. Exactly. Okay, so Brexit is going to have a big effect, isn't it? If they actually go through with it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Looks like that.
But that's right. So everything that we decide has an effect. Right? And the maldistribution of healthcare providers almost everywhere. By the way, you'll get these slides, so don't worry about it. We're just going to send them out. So the common challenges, the increasing costs, no matter what country you're in, and no matter what healthcare system you have, the costs are going up. Okay, and there's all reasons for it. Technology is great, but technology costs money. Big issue. The appropriate use and the misuses of technology and scientific advances. These are challenges. All right, we know that in Russia they've done programs now with pregnant women to help them by doing it on a cell phone, right? Because the world has cell phones, right? So how would you get to your patients? You might get to your patients using a cell phone. We certainly are doing that on adolescents, right? We're getting to adolescents to remind them to take their asthma medications by sending it out on their cell phone, because they're much more likely to look at a text than anything else. Right? So there are ways to do it, but it doesn't mean that it's cheap, right? You still have to have a cell phone, right? Somebody has to be able to connect you with that. Then there's the regulatory and legislative issues in every single country. Right? So what has held up the nurse practitioners and PAs here in Israel?
Well, the fact that the Israel Medical Association doesn't want them to start prescribing.
Right, and so they go to the Knesset
To lobby it, yeah.
to lobby. Right? So the regulatory and legislative, same thing in the US. Okay? There are 20 states in the US where nurse practitioners are independent and 30 states where they're not. Okay? So it depends which state you're in as to how you practice. And of course, the geographic and economic disparities, right, are huge in all of our countries and getting wider. Right? The economic disparities in those countries are increasing. Okay, so on top of that, and the common solution is to expand and diversify that healthcare workforce. Then we have to consider costs, right? Because you just are putting extra money into this, so where's money coming from? So I'm going to just show you some numbers. They're not brand new, but the other ones I found yesterday were actually older. So this just kind of gives you a comparison. It's not all countries, it's some countries of the world, with Canada and the US there, South Korea, France, China, and Peru. And you can see that the number of MDs per 100,000 population is very different. You know, France, we've always known, has had many more physicians per 100,000 than even in the United States. But look as low as Peru with 1.1, China with 1.5. Now look at nursing. France not only has more physicians, they have more nurses. Okay. US goes up in their nursing staff. Some of the other places don't even have many nurses. Okay. I find that really interesting. Now, we aren't going to deal with dentistry and pharmacy today, but you know they're really important. I don't know how many of you depend on your pharmacist and what pharmacists are like in other countries. What are pharmacists like in Africa, in Cameroon?
You buy from where you want. There are so many legalized and illegalized pharmacies, stores and pharmacies. You can enjoy.
Yeah, you can buy an antibiotic just by asking for it.
Okay.
Because of the health system. Because the health system is not enough for the people there. So it's like it's natural for you to go and prescription drugs. You can buy them just like anything else.
Without anybody prescribing them, just
Yes.
going and getting them.
Yes.
I worked at a university health service in my early years, and I saw some international students. And there was an African student who came in and had an amoebic abscess. Okay, so an amoeba got into that liver, had a big hepatic amoebic abscess. Very unusual case for the United States. Everybody got excited, how interesting it was. And the guy looked at me and said, if I were home, I would have gone to the local pharmacy, gotten a drug, okay, before feeling this bad, it would have been all done, it would have covered anything I could have had. Okay? But not in the United States, so he got really sick and became, you know, the special case at the university hospital. So pharmacists have become an interesting role, particularly in the US. Some doctors accuse them of practicing medicine. Right? So, just keep thinking about, so we're going to go from physicians to nursing, nurse practitioners, advanced practice nurses to PAs, and then to something called healthcare cadres in the African continent. All right, so I'm going to start with being a physician because I'm a physician. All right, so let's talk a little bit about a physician. What's a physician? You cannot find a good definition like you can of a PA or nurse practitioner. Okay, because it's a person skilled in the art of healing. Now, I would bet that you would say a good midwife is skilled in the art of healing.
Not sure.
No?
No, I think it's like this is a discussion we had about ideology. Like, I think a midwife is more about you're taking care of mostly healthy women. So it's not about healing so much. It's like to keep the health.
Caring.
Caring, yes.
Okay.
And obviously also to see if something is not right. So it's a different background or ideology.
Yeah. In fact, I mean, that can even define a pastor in different contexts.
Yes? Yeah.
Holistic therapist.
Yeah.
Right, and we'll talk in a couple minutes, about alternative healing. Where does that come
Right.
into the healthcare system, right?
I don't know, maybe Isabella as a nurse would rather, I don't know, if she also would say the same about nursing workers.
What do you think, Isabella? We'll go on, think about that, okay? All right, now this is a very complicated slide. All right, I used to hand it out, and I said, I'm not going to. It's a small room, and I only want you to see certain things. So this is the pathways in all of these countries for somebody to become a physician. So what do you notice?
Everyone has to go through medical school,
Yes.
except Australia. So I get something special at the beginning there, but
Well, medical school comes back here.
okay.
But what's that first thing that they do?
What is CO?
College.
Something in maybe college.
Pre-med.
Yeah.
Pre-med?
Yeah, so
probably
does the
pre-med. It's probably
state?
States are not on here.
Oh, I was gonna say, because the states do pre-med too.
Yeah.
But the length varies.
Yes, and even Israel today can do a first degree, all right? Things are changing. But it's not the same, is it?
Yeah, it's not standardized.
It's not standardized, right? And I can tell you that the countries are changing in this. So there's actually 6 routes to become a doctor in the world. So they took all of that and they put this down. So you go to secondary school and then to medical school, right? Now a lot of countries have that. Right? A lot of people go to secondary school, take an exam, then they go to medical school. It's about 6 years, maybe 5.5 years, and then they go to postgraduate education. But sometimes the secondary school goes to medical school, and then they take an internship or 1 year. Here they call it stage. Right? Or they can go to secondary school, to medical school, and then do mandatory service. India. Okay, so India will do a year mandatory service. Okay, they will send brand new graduates out into the middle of nowhere with nobody else. If that is not trial by fire. Okay? And what would you say? Well, they're sending people out into these poor little villages. Is that better than nothing? No. Secondary school to medical school to an internship, 1 year, to a mandatory service. Okay, to residency. It's interesting that although I've got some folks who obviously just finished medical school in the States, so they had an undergraduate degree, then they went to medical school, they're going into the service, the military service in the United States, and they're actually going to do a 1-year internship because that's what the Navy, who as you know is parked out in the Haifa Bay. Everybody know that? Did he tell you that this morning? That you can go see the war, yeah, right.
US Navy.
The U.S. Navy is parked out in Haifa Bay.
Yeah, it's like the biggest aircraft carrier.
Biggest aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
George H.W.
A lot of aircraft taken off this morning too. I don't know if it's Israeli or U.S. Okay, but you can hear a lot more jets this morning.
Yeah, they're all training together.
Yeah, that's my guess. Anyway, he's actually been given 1 year by the Navy, and then, as I said to him, they're going to ship you. Okay, they're going to put him on one of these ships after 1 year. And then after he's done his mandatory service for the Navy, he will go back to postgraduate training. So you don't have to be, in some unusual country. It happens in the U.S. in many ways. But then the secondary school, the bachelor's degree, the medical school to residency, or for some people who do an internship. So you see that it's similar but different, right? And when you work with graduates of medical schools from throughout the world, which I've done in my prior jobs, they all come with a little different background. Yeah.
Secondary school sends you also to high school?
Secondary would be high school.
Okay.
Yeah. What Germany calls it Gymnasium.
I'm from Switzerland, but yes, gymnasium.
Yeah. So secondary school would be Gymnasium. Yeah. So these are miles, and we've already heard some things about what's the cost of educating a physician. Tuition doesn't cover it. Whether your country pays for it or whether you, the student, pays for it, I can guarantee you that the cost, the actual cost, if you did it in thousands, doesn't pay for it. The length of training is long with minimal reimbursement. So doctors get paid, but, you know, if you do it by the hour, it's, you know, those postgraduate doctors and residents don't get paid much. We used to talk about $2.25 an hour and so forth. It's also a lot of life years. You really prolong adolescence. And so there's a lot of times where we see physicians who are going through this long period of time and being educated. They've not really necessarily got a psychiatrist with us. You can probably talk hours about this. They prolong some of that becoming an adult behavior and thought. You want to say anything about that?
No, I mean, it has both to do with financial dependency sometimes on family. In the States, you take student loans, but in Israel, people depend more on families, and it takes a very long time until they're financially independent. So that, you know, it carries its baggage.
And we know that it delays personal and family life, particularly as women, Minter knows, we worry about family, you know, and the alternative to, you know, when are you going to have children? And that's a question that's always come up to me as young women have gone into medicine. A lot of people don't think about this. It's really an intense experience. And I know that's true in the education of of advanced practice providers as well. But there's an intensity to physician training that actually is difficult to explain to students until they are actually there. I look at undergraduates, I look at people in college who want to be physicians, and I say to them, you cannot even conceive of how much information we expect you to learn on a weekly basis when you start medical school. And I've had friends who are educated, PhD in the schools of education, who are stunned when they come in and sit in classrooms in medical school. So not only is the amount of information, the rate at which it's delivered, and then the depth, the emotional depth of dealing with dying patients and very sick patients. Okay? And you know, as our midwives, as our physicians will tell you, as nurses will tell you, when you deal with healthy, there are challenges. People don't like to change. Okay? But when you deliver that baby that doesn't look right, you know, when you have that woman that doesn't, you know, is not healthy at the end of that delivery, when you have somebody who's 45 years old and comes in with a heart attack that doesn't recover, okay, and dies, when you see that child with leukemia, okay, it's hard. I mean, you do that day after day after day. The intensity of that experience is hard. So these are some of the costs. Their personal costs and their financial costs. It's expensive, okay?
Just interrupt for a second. Within about 6 weeks, Davey is going to start in medical school. And be reassured you have what it takes. Okay? Don't let her scare you. Okay?
We have other physicians here.
You will do fine. Okay?
So glad you talked about it.
Yeah. Right?
People don't know that really. And the physician is a student for life. This is
That's also true.
Yes. Which also
It's an evolving field all the time.
Right, right. Good physicians are always a student for life. Sure. Right. As I hope good public health practitioners are as well. But the intensity tends to be a little less. Okay? Much easier to cope with. So let's talk about the rise of the mid-level providers. Who knows anything about mid-level providers? What do you know about what we call nurse practitioners, PAs?
They can prescribe.
Yeah.
That's one of the main things they can prescribe.
They prescribe?
Yeah, they do more than clinical nursing. They can do, like she's saying, to prescribe, not just, you don't do only nursing diagnosis, you do more than nursing diagnosis. And some of them take part in administration.
So why have we gotten to the place where we are beginning to educate? In the United States, there's many. I mean, it was, how long have I been in medicine? It was 40 years ago when I started working with PAs and nurse practitioners. Nurse practitioners in the U.S. have been around for a very long time. Barbara Bates and College of Nursing, actually at the University of Rochester, We're one of the first programs in the country. Shortage of healthcare workers, that's one of the reasons, okay? Shortage of doctors, essentially. Access to care. If there aren't enough doctors, how do we get access for people to actually see somebody when they get sick? Okay, and so access to care. Concerns about patient safety and quality of care. Why would that be up here? What is it about increasing access increases quality?
Less mistakes, less burden on the limited number of current doctors, because now the workload is spread amongst more people.
Right. Okay? That's exactly right. And then growth in healthcare spending. Now, if we worry about growth in health spending, why are we educating more people? Isn't it expensive to educate them too? It is.
But on the long run, it's better.
Outcome is better, and they don't get paid as much in the long run. So if we were to open up enough medical schools, okay, to educate all of these people that we're educating at a mid-level, we need to be more expensive, right? We're going to ask the question at the end, what's the role of the doctor in the healthcare system? Right? It's a very interesting question to ask these days. So here is the definition of an advanced practice nurse. It's from the International Council of Nursing 2008. It's a nurse practitioner or an advanced practice nurse, and by the way, there's a whole list of names that this group of people go by, and every country has a different name. Is a registered nurse who has acquired the expert knowledge-based complex decision-making skills and clinical competencies for expanded practice, the characteristics of which are really shaped by the context in which they practice. And a master's degree is recommended for entry level. How expensive is this?
A master's degree in what?
Usually it's a nurse practitioner degree. It's 2 years. It's a second degree these days after getting a first degree with an RN. Yeah. So it can vary a little bit. In the United States, there's more of a significant curriculum that's been changed. In Israel, with the new rise of advanced practice nursing, it's actually being run not by an academic institution, okay, like they are in the States. It's actually being run by the Ministry of Health. And it's more like doing a residency. It's 6 months of didactic work and a year or so of, on the floor working. It's a little different. But today in the States, the master's degrees, and I think in the UK as well. And there are two broad types of activities that these people have. One is substitution. They substitute for doctors. What % of primary care do you think a nurse practitioner or PA does? 43. What? 43%. 43%. Others?
That's a very legit number.
Yeah.
43%. Yeah.
Just about.
I believed you.
Yeah. Spoke with confidence.
She's ready for 6 months from now. She's going to get those answers. Right? It's actually about 80%. 80%.
Wow. Can you repeat, what is this 80%?
So in a primary care practice, i.e. we go in with a cold, we go in with the first complaint to see our family doctor, our general internist, we take a child in and see our pediatrician. First complaint. First time I've taken somebody in for a rash or cold or something hurts or something. 80% of those times. Okay? A well-educated, advanced practitioner will do as well as a physician. It's pretty scary.
That explains the 2 minutes in Japan, right?
I have an example.
Go ahead.
Example of my life. So I got sick one time, and my primary care physician actually wasn't in the office, and so I needed somebody to see me. So the nurse practitioner ended up seeing me, and she diagnosed me with something that nobody in the entire office could figure out what was wrong with me except for her. And it was amazing that there was I don't know, 4 other physicians in the office, and none of them knew what to do with me, but she did, and I thought that was just absolutely amazing.
So, keep that up. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question to follow up. Why do you think she was able to do that?
I feel like
She was well educated.
yeah, she was well educated, more educated. There was, I don't know.